CNY Music Now. You're tuned into X101 Always Classic, and we're excited to bring you season 2 of a special production that we started last year with in-person shows inside Rose Hall. Now we're taking it to a studio session format. And Vinny Ballardini and our premiere artist for this episode, Colleen Kattau, is also with us, and Charles Walton as the host of the show. I'm here just kind of be a face for you guys to laugh at, I guess. And we'll be having a nice conversation. I mean, it's good to finally be back in person and having conversations, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Colleen and Charles, I mean, I'll kind of let you guys go at it. I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing Colleen. She's going to play a few songs, throughout the hour.
Yeah.
Hopefully more than a few, right? She was just telling us, gave us a kind of a rundown of what she was planning to do, Charles,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, folks, you've got some great stuff coming up from a wonderful artist that is, living right here in this area. So, we're thankful to have her in the studio without a doubt. And,
Yeah.
we're going to get into it and give you guys a lot of great music here.
Yeah. On your local radio station, we were talking a few minutes ago. We were trying to make the distinction of whether you were a Truxton or Cortland resident. You say Cortland because that's just what you always say.
I have a house there.
Yeah. But either way, it's this is kind of what we love to do around here is promote local artists, and something that we typically do with the Main Street Music Series, which is also a big supporter of this show. But what's it been like for you, Colleen? I guess over the pandemic, not being able to play live shows. I know you were working on music.
Yeah.
But it's probably got to be good to be able to get out in front of people, right? Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of like, this is nice. I got to see my first live music show last Friday, kind of impromptu. That was a blast. Danced and danced.
That's what I missed.
It was really wonderful,
Who'd
you see? Yeah.
I saw Los Blancos.
Oh,
no way.
Yep. And it was
great act
so
to go
fun.
see live.
So fun. So I got my dance, and I'm almost sore to even still. And then
where did they play?
Heritage Hill, out in Pompey. Really cool place.
Nice.
And and then I got to do on the eve of the pandemic. Because I kind of have a folk connection with and so I was asked to do this Phil Ochs night, which is Phil Ochs was a radical folk singer, and there's the tribute shows that they have. His sister's still alive, and she's always organized these amazing shows, and tons of people came. And so it was, I'll never forget, I think it was April 10th, and it was my first time on Zoom performing. I didn't perform that much on Zoom, but I did that. And we had over 400 people streaming it.
That's
paying.
amazing.
Nice. Paying streamer.
Yeah, so it's like, whoa.
That's different.
Whoa. But then, because that was kind of early in.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting, and I learned about latency.
I mean, I imagine that's got to be just a different experience.
And Ethernet cables, because living in the boonies.
Yeah.
And but, it was.
It's a new thing,
good to be here. It's good to be live. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, we're excited to have
Everybody says zoomed out. It's kind of a thing. I'm zoomed out.
Oh.
So.
Aren't we?
You got that right.
Yeah, aren't we all zoomed out,
I mean, it's a blessing, too, because it does make you feel like you stay connected, with folks.
True.
It is amazing what we can get done.
So that's been really nice. There's been like a lot of, like you were saying, I got to record some new songs, and I think I'm kind of like halfway to a new album, which is nice.
So there's a plus.
So that's good.
That's something I hope most people did, is take kind of a little bit of time to do some stuff that's meaningful to them, like write music or explore some of these things that you might not have had time to when everything was so busy,
We got a refrigerator.
There you go. Yes. Writing songs,
sometimes
getting
just a little
bit, I can get refrigerators. I can't write songs. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to make that talent work, buying refrigerators. But Colleen, what do you want to play for us first? I mean, it must have been amazing trying to boil down all the songs that you have written or played all down to a short list. But what are you thinking about kicking the show off with?
All right. Well, I guess I'll do this one. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's well, how in spring, like late winter, in the spring here in central New York, and you kind of like, plus climate change, and there's the extremes. And so, and you have the phone app, and it's like wild swings, you know. So this is called the forecast.
Oh, nice.
It was like just, so here it is. All right. 64 and 45, 56 and 48, 59 and 23, 65 and oh me, Wednesday. Promises sunshine. Thursday, cloudy. Friday, cloudy. Monday, rain. Tuesday, rain. Wednesday, promises sunshine. Promises sunshine again.
Beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
Charles,
That's the whole thing.
what do you feel when you sit in front of somebody playing live music?
It's a beautiful thing. You know, the energy and all of that vibe is, you know, palpable,
amazing.
especially when you've got, you know, talented musicians such as Colleen. You know, it's, guys, we said it during the previous season, you know, we felt really privileged to be there for these things while everyone else is just watching it via Zoom or Facebook at any given time. And, you know, you can feel it, the energy, and I know that everybody's looking forward to getting back to it. Just like Colleen was saying, you know, about her first live show. I mean, everybody, please get out, support these guys when you see them up and coming to some venue near you, because, you know, we need to get this stuff going again, plain and simple, folks,
And
you
it
know.
really seems to be going.
Yeah,
I think so.
exactly.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
there's such a happening, amazing music scene in Central New York, in this region.
Hear it
I
time
think
and
maybe
time
it's an
again.
explosion all over, but it really is tremendous.
I've always been blown away at how vibrant the music scene is here in Central New York. I mean, you've got a lot of incredible talent. You know, we've been fortunate enough to broadcast it for everybody out there, you know, over the last couple of months, especially given what we've all been going through. But the beauty is, hey, we're going to get back to it very soon here, folks. Very soon.
Yeah. It's you know, Colleen, something like singing and playing an instrument. It's such a simple way to turn somebody's energy, turn somebody's like downs into, you know, negatives into a positive, you know, and it's just like you said, Charles. I mean, it's an energy that maybe it's nice to be able to go to a virtual concert, you know, but it's something that you definitely miss, that you're looking to get back forward to these live concerts, you know. Charles, what have you been up to throughout the pandemic too? I mean, I just, you know, shook your hand on the way, and I haven't seen you in forever. I mean, how's everything been going?
You know, life has been good. You know, we were talking earlier, and there was a term that I heard a podcast about called languishing, which is, you know, it's not like it's necessarily negative or extremely positive. It's just you're there, looking forward to everything getting back. You know, you're just staying even keel as best you can, and I think that's been the key for me, is just keeping that kind of mentality. But I've been fortunate. I mean, the plain and simple fact is that you know, through work, I'm able to see people a lot, and you know, I'm fully vaxxed there, folks. So all of us here. So but that's been one of the beautiful things, is that you know, I've been able to stay somewhat active, and being a part of that first season and this second one here, guys. It's going to satiate me for a while, and now we're getting back to, you know, public venues. So I hope where are you guys going to be going? What shows you want to be seeing? You know,
right? Yeah.
You know, Vince, Colleen, what's next on your list of people you want to see?
The thing is that, because the language. I mean, it has been quite surreal for everyone, you know, and it is. And I'm not sure about the going back part. I think something has really shifted.
Yeah.
And.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah, and as we head into summer too, and you know, the weather gets nicer, and the masks restrictions kind of ease up and everything, and people remember what it was like before the pandemic, and it really has been a tough more than a year to kind of work
Yeah.
through all the differences. You know, thankfully, music is one thing that
Yeah.
music and people.
Exactly. Music.
And
You
there's
know?
this kind of like disconnect too. I mean, because here it's just so wonderful, you know, that suddenly, well, when I got the instructions, the ride or whatever you call it, the advance for here, it was like, okay, masks in the studio, and I'm like, oh, but because it shifted, like you said,
Right.
so
Yeah, so
fast.
quickly.
Quick.
But then I have really good friends, you know, in other parts of the world, like Colombia, and the pandemic is
not.
still raging. So there's this very odd, you know, kind of dissonance between the two worlds, right?
Yeah.
And
And
you know,
well,
we
you-
are really lucky here, really fortunate. We had the vaccines, we had access, right? And
Yeah,
so-
access. The
And
key
we are-
factor.
and we weren't worried
Yeah.
about like food, you know, I mean, some people were, but food production, things like that, because other parts, what is it? It's like they said, you know, if the U.S. catches, they said about Mexico, but you could say it about lots of places,
Yeah.
you know, if the U.S. catches a cold, you know, we get pneumonia, right? Because
Yeah.
it affects people, you know,
Yeah.
around the world really.
Yeah,
in
I mean, this is
vast
one
ways.
thing. One thing that it just affected all reaches of the globe. You know, one thing. It's just amazing how quickly that happened. Where, you know, somebody from Cortland, New York, and somebody from, you know, somewhere in Serbia are experiencing a similar event. You know, just all the changes that are going along with it. And Colleen, you were in Italy not too long. You were in 2019, just before
Yes.
the pandemic kicked off and everything too. So you're probably kind of drawing on some of those memories when you were stuck
It
at
was
home, right?
amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
sang,
well, that's lucky you got to do that beforehand, though. Yeah. Yeah.
I know, I sang Bella Ciao a lot. That's the only
Hey,
Italian
I'm
song
sure
I
you did
knew.
a lot of dancing out
And
there,
it
too.
was, you know, like, per 2 soldi, un topolino mio padre comprò. It's like a children's song.
See, I got to learn Italian, Colleen, because
You do. Are you Italian?
Well, yeah, Ballardini.
Yeah.
My ancestors wouldn't know because I don't speak any Italian. They wouldn't know me, so I got to.
You have ancestors? You have relatives there?
I'm sure I do. Yeah,
Because if
A
you
lot of
have
them
even
came here.
distant relatives, they will love you.
Yeah.
You go.
I'm from what is that little town called? Skirgola. It's like a little
Cute.
rock village, and there's other Italians in Cortland that are from there too. So I think they.
What
might know.
part? What region?
It's It's like an hour and a half south of Rome, I believe.
Oh,
So
okay.
like central Italy, but
Nice.
it's very old. The houses are still made of stone. You know,
Right.
it's that type of Italy. I mean, you were just singing in Italian though. I mean, you're bilingual vocalist and songwriter, right? Don't you have a Spanish song?
Yeah. Oh, you want? Okay, I could play that.
That'd be kind of interesting, right?
All right.
Charles, you want to
Yeah.
hear it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Okay.
just to kind of show. I mean,
Yeah.
I love.
What's the story behind this one?
Yeah.
Well, this is more like a little folky set, you know. This song is called Besos, and it's because I have a degree in Spanish, and my advisor, we were Pedro Cooperman. He passed away a few years ago, but he was, you would have loved him. He was phenomenal, really funny, you know, brilliant guy, you know, amazing, and he. Like the last few years, we stayed friends, you know, after I left school, and because he was at SU and Syracuse, and he wrote poetry too, and he wrote novels, and he wanted me to put some of his poems to music, and so I started doing that.
Oh,
and
cool.
this one is one that I wrote that came out, I thought, pretty well.
All right.
And I'll give you the translation though, just real quick.
Okay.
It's called Kisses, and it's they called him Judas because he was from Poland and he was a Jew, and he inherited all the same stages, the same masks, but he knew how to kiss and to love. And it was deformed love because it was a love that only lasted the length of a kiss. But he made it last. He made that kiss last. And in 2,000 years, after 2,000 years, he accumulated so many kisses that they were enough to forgive everybody.
Oh, wow.
So-
That's beautiful.
so
Really,
he's-
really nice.
Colleen, used to call Colleen. He left a message one time on my answering machine. You know, when they had the answering machines
yeah.
back then, and he goes, "Colleen, this is a message for the both of us, I guess."
I gotta take that one.
I know it
Yeah.
was just so. Yeah,
Ugh.
he was.
He sounds like an awesome guy.
We
Yeah.
just tell jokes all the time. So pesos. And this is the title of the CD that I did, and it's got some nice instrumentation on it. Le decía Judas porque había nacido en Polonia y porque era judío y había heredado las mismas máscaras, el mismo escenario, pero sabía besar y amar un amor deformado, es verdad, de algo que solo dura la que dure un beso, pero lo hacía durar, lo hacía durar. Cuando llegaba el momento, se te subía encima. Por todas partes te rociaba de besos, te amaba sin parar, con la virtud de hacerlo a sabiendas, y lo hacía durar, lo hacía acumulado tantos besos como para perdonarles a todos, y lo hacía durar, lo hacía durar, lo hacía durar, lo hacía.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, Charles, I wish you could put these headphones on with me. Because, I mean, listeners know what I'm talking about, but it just sounds amazing, Colleen. I mean, it's
Thank
just,
you.
it's, see, I was going to ask you, I've kind of been trying to learn the guitar since the pandemic started.
Oh, nice.
I've really come a long way. And it's leading up to a question. I know that I'm a good singer. I'm sure Charles will know what I'm saying.
I can imagine.
I know that you know that you're a good singer. How do you get it how do you sing in front of people the way that you do? Obviously, you can't give me an exact answer.
You close your eyes.
Right? I mean, but what is you got to get over something inside you that I would imagine people have to get over every day to do the stuff that they do.
Yeah. I even had that
like?
feeling tonight. I'm like, oh my God, I got to sing
Just to
in
go
front of
somewhere.
people.
Yeah.
Oh
just
my
to go to the
God.
grocery store, you know? But I mean, that's
you know, you just play with people and you know that, you know what the biggest thing is? People are with you. They are with you. They want, you know, you get the energy from people. It's you just got to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you, and
Right.
it's about the music, and the music is out there, and
You're just like the medium. It's just
and
kind
you
of
just be
coming through
there.
you.
Yeah. I mean, that's a way to look at it.
That's the aspect about a live concert I think we've been missing, right, Charles? Is like that you're both the singer and the audience are both participating, even though the audience is just listening.
Yeah, no,
it's a participation.
You know, it's a symbiotic relationship, plain and simple. You know, I mean, I used to always just think that people were naked, and that made me a lot.
That's
more
what I hear. You
relaxed,
got to
but-
try to do.
Do you perform?
Oh, I used to. Years
You
ago.
have
So,
a
yeah.
great speaking voice.
Thank you.
He'd probably be a great
That
singer.
and a
too.
face for radio, so it works out well.
And that too. No, that's not true. Do you sing also?
You know, I was a voice major, so
Wow.
yeah, back there was a time that yes, I used to. I
I
just
did
haven't
not
done
know
anything
this,
recently.
Charles.
So the funny thing is like, yeah, it was always easier for me to sing in front of large groups of
Oh, no
people
wonder
as
why,
opposed to.
because
I
your
used to
voice
hate
is
my
amazing.
juries. It was the
Really?
juries that I hated when
Really?
you're one on one with somebody that is actually judging you. But anytime the crowd, and I'm sure the same for you, is that energy coming from them, that's positivity coming to you, and you
Yeah.
feel that. Whereas,
Yes.
in other situations, you get in your head and, you're thinking about
Yeah.
the other aspects.
I think
But
you said it well, Colleen. When
Yeah.
you start thinking about yourself too
Yeah.
much as rather than hey, I'm just the medium that this music is
Yeah.
kind of
I mean, it's a lesson that I have. It's like I have to
would
always.
imagine. It takes
Yeah.
practice.
It's not
Yeah.
like I have it down.
I still have a vivid memory of a home video. My parents used to record all of our concerts when we were kids, And there's one where I'm right in the front and it's chorus and it's just a ESR. Good timing, right?
Keep talking because
Oh yeah.
yeah, face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apologize if I can't hear them.
emergency lights go on.
Good timing with the emergency. What you're seeing right now, Facebook
Well, maybe it's
is
the.
Oh, the
Oh, we're
emergency
thunderstorm
broadcast system.
warning. Yeah, we were just talking about how we got off easy on the thunderstorms, and here it comes.
Some good stuff coming.
Oh yeah, look at
Oh,
that.
it is. Oh, nice.
Wow, how far you're in? You guys are
Yeah,
both
I'm only
close.
like
You don't
15
gotta-
minutes
yeah.
here. 20 minutes.
It's that time of the year, our friends on Facebook, go check out their
Yeah. Oh, my,
Did you
home
see the
video.
cloud? There was this amazing cloud
Past
last
couple
week.
days.
Well, no, this was like but that too. There are
Yeah.
always amazing clouds.
Oh, yeah,
around
that's
here.
true, yeah.
There are. I've written about clouds, because they don't get in my way. No.
Right over by
I was
Route
quoting Joni Mitchell. But that's okay.
Yeah.
281, where that Rite Aid intersection is. That always has nice clouds. Route 281, Route 221,
Yep.
out by the subway, Rite Aid.
Yeah.
And the airport. Yeah.
So
Okay,
amazing.
that mess is gone now. I do remember. Okay, so home video, right? So I remember vividly. I
home
can
video.
still think of it. My parents were, I'm right up front of the chorus, and my mouth is barely moving. My hands are in my pockets, and you can tell I'm just like I'm in my head, and as
Yeah.
like a sixth grader, I mean, you can't expect the most of me, but I think I can still relate to that feeling. I've gotten over it on the radio. Like first couple times on the radio, you had that same feeling, but Charles is, having a job that you're in front of people all the time too. It kind of takes a little bit, something outside of yourself to meet, to get where you got to go.
Oh, definitely.
You know.
I
And
think
if you have the passion for it, sorry, the desire for it. Yeah.
No, but the funny thing is we were thinking about this, and I got butterflies earlier today on my way here, and I was just like, that's always a good feeling because you know your head's in the right spot. And Colleen, I want to ask you that question. I mean, for me, it was always a good sign having the butterflies. If I didn't, that was when it would start. I'd start to get in my head.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe that's true.
So
It means you want to do well, I
Yeah.
guess, if you have the butterflies.
yeah,
It's almost like
exactly.
pushes
It's
you.
that
Yeah.
good anticipation,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
nervousness. It's that
Yeah.
positive nervousness.
You could
I
just
would say.
rename it.
Yeah.
Rename it to excitement. Like
Right.
your nerves are getting excited because they're anticipating something. But it really is. I mean, I think it's something humble to admit too. Because we'd all like to walk around like we got it all together. During the pandemic, especially, we all socialized less in
Yeah.
person. And it can be like daunting just to kind of leave the house sometimes. Like I can be completely honest and say that I feel that. I feel that way
there's
sometimes,
this kind of agoraphobic kind of
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
people have. I certainly was. I just want to stay home now.
Yeah.
Because, you
Not
get
have to
kind
run in
of.
all
I
these
can do
tasks.
this. I
Yeah.
can read that.
Yeah. But I kind of use those butterflies the same way. Like you got to almost just like spin them when you
Yeah.
feel them. Like,
Yeah.
feel that as like, oh, this is the stove turning on to power the engine rather than weighing you down, because
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
it almost like makes me not even want to, you got everything on but your shoes and you're about to put your shoes on. You're like, oh man, do I really need to go to the grocery store? I'll go to Walmart tomorrow,
I'll just stay here in my cocoon.
Which is nice. Less driving.
It's easy to do, but
But you
then-
asked about the music piece about,
Yeah.
and for me, music is really. I mean, it's just really healing. It's helped
Yeah.
me to be,
I agree.
to stay. Just something I have to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know where
I have
that
to
comes
listen to
from.
music.
Right.
Like it's,
Me, and listening to
Yeah, I've
music
got
too.
it
Have to.
on
Singing
all
all
the
the
time.
time. Yeah.
it's healing, like you said. I mean,
All the arts, really.
it can take you out of just some awful thought patterns, just because it's you're hearing sounds that we're constantly talking in English every day, and trying to make sense of our world and make sense of our daily problems, issues in English. And it's like not easy to do. Sometimes like you don't realize it, but if your brain's not making sense of it, it'll stumble upon that. 3 or 4 hours down the road, you're not sure why you have a headache, something you were thinking about before. And it's like tones, like music, alleviate that kind of stuff, because it's just sort of like a rush of this, like, you don't have to think about it. It's just going, and it's going in the right direction, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Right. Well, because it gives you it. I think that's why, because normally my recall memory for like names or things like that, or memorizing things isn't that great. I guess it could be better. I'm not like a scientist, but
So much stuff to memorize.
but I can memorize all lyrics because they're the melody kind of helps.
You've
the
got that association. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the way here, I was an old song that I used to do came into my head, and I'm like, and I started singing it because it's been, you hear the sound is playing in my head now. It was in Spanish,
Yeah.
and it was, this is like 30 years ago, 40 years, and I'm like, what is that song? And then I started thinking, I was like, I'll never remember all the lyrics, and all of a sudden, when I wasn't even concentrating on it, the second verse came into my head. I'm like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I've been in that
Subconscious,
situation.
Yeah.
All you got to connect the right synapses. We're all good.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I mean, lyrics are just music in general. I can't wait until we're really going full steam. I mean, we got the studio sessions that we'll be doing, a bunch of these, but we got a bunch of live shows around town too. Dwyer Park's doing a bunch of drive-in concerts. Yeah. Village on the
Center
Green,
for the Arts.
Center for the Arts
is doing all
too.
that stuff.
Summer concerts on the Green returning this year in the Village. I mean,
Nice.
those are really cool. People kick back their lawn chairs out there, and
Totally.
after a long day at work, well, it's good to be here. We're in the Hugo Medical Center studios, by the way, and we're appreciative of the day to be able to continue our CNY Music Now series. I mean, Colleen, what else did you have planned for us music-wise?
Well, I have, I guess I could play a song that I wrote like right at the beginning of the pandemic. And then just thinking, because, I'll do it because it's strawberry season and it mentions the strawberry.
I had a bunch of strawberries yesterday, actually.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
Did you?
Me too. A
Maybe
friend
we
of
have
mine
the
heard
same
she has
ones.
an incredible garden, and she had these huge, juicy, delicious strawberries.
Right out of the garden.
Yes,
I didn't have
right
those.
out
from
of the
the
garden.
Mine came out of a package, so.
Well,
And there was one ripe strawberry today, and I gave it to David, my partner.
Oh,
I said,
that was
"Here,
nice of
Dave."
you.
That's nice.
It was right there, this beautiful red big strawberry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta start growing strawberries. Not much attention needed, just water.
Well, no.
I'd probably, I'd find a way to ruin them. I'd find a way to.
That was kind of a
Strawberries like-
concern, not neccnecessarily. Yeah.
They'd probably be a different
they
color.
don't like weeds,
No.
Okay.
so you have to mulch them a lot. And I don't. I mean, I didn't. I planted strawberries last year, and they were meh. And then I was like, forget it. And then they just show up
Oh,
where they
yeah?
want to show up. That's how I do it.
Huh.
I'm not. If you want good strawberries,
So
go
if
out
you
to
find
Cabo.
one, that's kind of a neat little surprise.
Sounds
there.
like my raspberries and blackberries. They show up every year, and I'm just happy.
I know.
Yeah.
You're great. But I'll do this one. It mentioned just a little context for the song. It's called The Root. And there's a Spanish part in it too. Wow. But the Spanish is the same as the English, so I don't need to translate it. And but it fits because you can rhyme it and stuff. And
That's cool, yeah.
but then I mentioned the sacred strawberry because we are on Onondaga Nation territory, right?
That we are.
Inhabited lands. We should acknowledge that. And years ago, there was a protest at Seneca Army Depot because they were had nuclear warheads stored there, and these crazy women they did a women's peace encampment, and I went up there, and I hear this voice. It was like a gathering that specific day, and I hear this voice first of all, and I look over and I see this huge crowd, and it is, I didn't know who it was, but the voice was it was like one of those cartoons where you're mesmerized,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. So I just kept
Just
walking
call it.
walk to the voice, and it was Audrey Shenandoah, who was the beloved clan mother of the Onondaga.
Nation,
She's legendary. You know, she was world famous. Look her up. You would love her
I'm gonna
stuff.
have to.
So prescient, and she talked about the first fruit, the strawberry, and you know, so that features in the song. The song is not about her, but it gives her a nod for
Yeah.
thinking about making
Well,
connections. It's called
I love how life experiences play into when you're writing stuff. You know,
Yeah.
different references and
Here we go. Thinking about my loved ones. Thinking about the whole world. Thinking about my loved ones. Thinking about the whole world. Some say you can't do anything about it, but I want to. Some say there's no way around it, so I'm going through just like you. And my heart is aching, my spirit's shaking. 'Cause I know Audrey told it a long time ago, it'd be the greatest reckoning the world would ever know. We forgot the sacred strawberry, tree of life, the mother of humanity, yeah. We forgot the root, the connection, and you know that's the truth. We lost our direction. Dicen que no se puede hacer nada, pero intentaré o resistiré. Que no hay manera de esquivarla, pues paso y sigo adelante. A la raíz, oh, la conexión ha comprendido, yeah, que hemos perdido nuestra dirección. So I plant my feet on the solid ground. Earth and fire water keep me safe and sound. May our bodies be a living tree, roots rising up to nurture me, yeah. Maybe then I'll remember when, and I can have heaven on earth again, yeah. Oh, la raíz, back to the roots, la raíz, back to the connection. Planto mis pies en la tierra sagrada, aire, agua, tierra, fuego me tienen arraigada. Haga de mi cuerpo un árbol de la vida, las raíces levantándome y yo comprometida. Thinking about my loved ones, thinking about the whole world, thinking about my loved ones, thinking about the whole world.
Yeah.
wow.
God, I love the
Charles?
tone of that guitar.
I know.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
It just
Thank
sounds.
you.
It sounds so good, and it's like hard to not sound like so stereotypical when someone gets done. Like clap, oh great job, but it's like when you're listening to that, it's like you probably if you saw me, I'm like zoned out just listening to the Spanish, listening to the words. It's like it moves you, you know, gives you goosebumps. It's you know, music is it's such a healing thing, like you said, you know, it's
Transformative, yeah.
right, and it's so simple. Like it's something that we've had for ages, and we're going to have for ages, and it's you know. And Charles, I think that's why we take such great pride in how many great musical acts that we have in the area.
Oh,
You know,
exactly.
And you know, we're all really, you know, musicians, you know, at heart. I mean, I think it was Hungary, like all the kids have to learn, like an instrument and
Yeah.
really well, you know.
Yeah.
And I wish that I'd had that, you know, training that, because, you know, despite the obstacles, you know, I kept doing music. It was kind of like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you know. Or like in Canada, you know, they support the arts. You know, the musicians in Canada, they get subsidized and they have grants, and and there's so many great. I mean, there's great U.S. musicians, of course. You know, get me wrong, but it is interesting, you know, that to have that kind of support. You know,
It's sad when you see the trend of like high school or like school music departments.
right?
not
Lunch. You
Winning
have to
away.
decide between lunch or music.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know.
And that's just, you know, the beauty is other countries, you know, they see the true value in it. I mean, you know, as a society, you know, I think we've always known it. The question is, you know, how well are you willing to support it, and you know, what are you willing to do to keep that support flowing? And so,
Yeah.
you know,
When it's almost like only treated as entertainment or like leisure, I think we're almost leaving out like that medicinal aspect of music.
Oh, exactly.
We should be prescribed a concert a week, you know?
no, the studies are there that show how important music is. So, you know,
I teach Spanish and I use music a lot.
I was going to ask you, speaking of training, obviously you're bilingual, and not just your speaking, singing, writing and stuff, but so what originally got you into sort of the Latin American culture and Spanish? I mean, how'd you get down, how that kickstarted?
Well, there's you know, I mean, music is my first love, but I didn't have the formal training, so it was, you know, kind of out for me to go to continue, you know, beyond, because in college I didn't really study. I studied a little bit of music, you know, and then, but I did, you know, I went to Spain, and I was really drawn to Spain when I went there as an undergraduate, you know, and I've said this to other people too. Maybe it's because my Celtic roots or something, but landed in Spain. I felt like I was home. It was very strange. I mean, blonde hair, you know, blue, whatever, you know, mostly Irish, you know, some German, but you know what? But so that's I was able to study, and then but Latin American music just is amazing.
It is.
You know, the melodies and
just
the,
like the
rhythms, and they have
yeah.
so much influence
much.
in U.S. culture. I mean, it's unbelievable. It doesn't cross, you know, right?
Yes,
the
indeed.
Afro, the Latin, and also the Andean region has like the Asian. It's just, I love Andean music, and so you know, I love all music.
All different.
Really.
I mean,
do.
so much you can do with it too. I mean, I think of just like a guitar or a voice, you know, an instrument. Like how many different places you can go with that. You know, how many different emotions you can touch. You know.
And you know, one of the things like in Latin America, there was this really cool when you know, when I was studying too, there was a lot of turmoil and the wars in Central America, and musicians and poets, and this was like in the 60s and 70s, they were kind of crucial to, because the youth of that time, you know, so that they're your age, they're like old now, but they're your age now, and then the stuff that they did, and so many artists were writing. I mean, I would listen, and once I learned the language, and just be crying because they were talking about people's lived experiences, you know, and they were influenced by U.S., you know, folk music and everything, but they really went back to their roots and rediscovered, because there was a kind of an influx, you know, in the latter part of the 20th century of commercializing and you know, Americanizing, and they were like, no. The young people were like, no, we're going to follow, like in Cuba, they followed like the Buena Vista Social Club. You got everybody knows that. Well, that was the thing, you know. They went back to like these guys. These are we're going to follow these guys and do something different, you know, and so that's, I was just blown away by, you know, the power of the music and the musicality, you know, the guitar and the rhythms and crazy rhythms.
Oh yeah,
It's like a human being can do that
the
stuff.
percussive nature, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the heartbeat is where I always go back to.
Yes.
You know, and you know the pulse of it.
Exactly.
And that's
the clave.
the beauty of clave. Oh yeah, you know. Oh, but then, you know, like you were saying, I mean, the poets, the musicians, I mean, they were kind of at the forefront, really, weren't they?
They were.
Of getting the message out in terms of, you know, what was truly going on and the problems that they were having, you know, very similar to what was kind of going on for us in the 60s and, you know, early 70s
Right.
in
There
terms
was a
of,
lot
you
of
know,
parallel.
you know, government trying to shut them down, but, you know, the arts always seem to be the place
do.
that, you know, they will get that message out
Because
one
it
way or
wasn't,
the other.
and it was the messaging wasn't like a beating over your head message.
No.
It was very subtle and a lot of a lot of knowing. That's the thing, like knowing the audience knows what you're saying. You don't have to teach anybody anything, you know.
Yeah, and I think an audience could hear one verse, and I think maybe 20 people would think of different, like it would hit them in different ways, you know. Like
Yeah.
have you ever had that feeling?
Like interpretation,
Yeah, like you ever had that feeling where you're listening to a song and you're like, this person wrote this like for me, about me, like they know me like back and front. But it's like I think that's like the ambiguity that music has. It's like we all like relate, you know, there's some baseline similarity to all of us that I think we ignore too much. But when we're all in a room and someone starts playing, it's like we all stop talking and kind of settle into this.
Right, it's like primordial.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and you're looking around, everybody's nodding their head. You're there? Yep, I'm there too, you know, and it's cool. I mean, you know, it especially when it's in person, you know, because like I said, I have to listen to music, headphones, this and that, but, you know, I don't get goosebumps every day from listening to my music. You know, Colleen, you've given me goosebumps like 4 times tonight. It's cool stuff, you know, it's cool stuff. We got a whole list of artists to bring you to over this studio session series. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe I should wear a sweater next time I come here so I don't all these goosebumps. Yeah. Well, Colleen, I kind of want you to play more music. I feel like I'm making you just play for free for me, but
I have a good,
you know,
I have a song I could do. I think before, you know, I'd like to do this song. I was talking before about, and thank you first of all for having me.
Oh, of course.
I really,
I guess we should say that. Thank you guys for coming too,
and it's a beautiful
project. American Vintage Productions
and
for helping us get all this stuff set up.
Really
you know, I mean,
great.
this is a unique opportunity. I think, you know, this anywhere, especially in our little hometown. You know.
Oh yeah, and so I'm gonna do this song because I think I told you about my beloved bass player Mike Brandt. He passed away just really kind of quickly. You know, he had cancer and he was this quiet genius you were talking about before, right? The quiet genius, that was him. He was actually literally a genius, like labeled a genius. You know, he never got a wrong answer on any test he ever took, including the SAT.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just like, but he was one of, you know, and he had perfect pitch. So I mean, I made him cringe a lot. So, but I love him. And but the gift is last August, and this would be right like a week before he got diagnosed with cancer. I wanting to learn this Abbey Lincoln song, and you know Abbey Lincoln,
great artist.
Oh my God, great artist. You got it. And so, and it's a beautiful song, but I could pick out some of the chords, you know, but not the subtleties. So he sat down in my house because we got together, you know, and it was great, and he listened to the song once and just wrote it down as he was listening to it, all the chords.
Oh, geez.
It's unbelievable.
You know, I know, so great. And I knew he could do that, and I didn't want to tax him all the time to do it, but I was like, damn, I wish I got him to do it. But yeah, he would. So this is it. This is called Throw It Away.
Like that, you know?
Yeah, and it's about, I guess, you know, it's a lot of loss, you know, people have had loss and about things, so holding on to what you have. It's a beautiful song. By Abbey Lincoln. Think about the life I live, a figure made of clay, and think about the things I lost, the things I gave away. And when I'm in a certain mood, I search the house and look. One night I found these magic words in a magic book. Throw it away, live your life, give your love each and every day, and keep your hand wide open, let the sun shine through, 'cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. cradle, and a hand to help us stand with a gentle kind of motion as it moves across the land. And the hands are stretched and open, gifts of life and love it brings. So keep your hand wide open if you're needing anything. Come on, Charles, sing it with me. Throw it away. You know it. I know you know it. Throw it away. Come on. Live your life. Give your love each and every day. And keep your hand wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belonged to you. No, you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you.
Yes.
I don't blame you.
man.
I wouldn't want to ruin that either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I was in that headspace there, loving that.
Turtle
awesome.
Dreams.
That
That
was
awesome.
it. Oh,
You know
I
that
think
song,
your bass
right?
player must have been with us,
Oh.
and that'll be a
Thank
moment
you,
that
Mike.
you guys
Yeah.
share.
There you go.
Every time you hear that song, every time you play that song, it's got to be with you.
Yeah.
It's
There's many versions of it, and Turtle Dreams is I like this. She did it, because she's a jazz artist, right?
Yeah,
So she
exactly.
did it like however she felt it, and
different every time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Question: do you get the same feeling when you create music as you do when you hear someone else playing? Is it the same feeling, similar?
Depends
feeling?
on the artist.
Depends on the artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but lots of times, like Abby Lincoln,
Of course.
Buffy St. Marie, like Joni Mitchell,
Yeah.
Leela Downs, Anna Tijoux, all different,
Just voice and a guitar.
yeah,
that's-
Mercedes Sosa and like
it's
a lot.
raw. It's like there's nothing you cover up with production,
Right.
No.
and it's
But even in with bands too, that some of them are just really, there's like moving, yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I just was thinking about one of the Spanish songs that you were playing earlier, and like where you were speaking but hitting the words that you were saying to rhythm. And,
Yeah.
It's as you were playing, it was like. The lyrics were, and what you weren't singing, you were talking, but
Yeah,
it was
they're talking.
in frame.
I decided to put it in there because it was like a long song and it's very repetitive.
Yeah,
The chord structure.
I
but
loved it.
Thank
and
you.
I think that it's it points out a way that like our lives are very musical in general, and I
Yep.
think that's like kind of something I do. Maybe is like sometimes I'll have music playing in my head or my ears or my whatever, and I'll be looking in my external world. People walking up and down the sidewalks or whatever. And if I convince myself like quick enough, like it's almost like they're walking to the beat of the drum. Like it's weird. Right?
Everything has a rhythm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything's got a rhythm.
Like
Yeah.
they talk about like songwriters. They'll say that even in this room, if we were really quiet and we heard, the buzzing and the things. Well, that's what Joni Mitchell
that comes
did.
to it.
She would go out and she would tune her instrument. She is a freaking genius. But
Yeah.
see, I said freaking.
She was.
She
Jody, or
she
could say it for
she
her.
would tune her instrument to the sounds that she was hearing.
Ambient sound and just
Yeah.
going up for her.
I used to think I was weird when I was a kid when I'd hear like buzzing, but I would literally create like almost like a 4-measure repetitive line off of like the air conditioner or something,
Oh, there you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you have musicians in your music in like your family? Because most,
Not as
well, if
much
you
as
look
you'd
back,
think.
like so many, like I'll go to people's houses and everybody had a band. It looked like
Yeah, right,
My,
right.
Like my partner did, like
playing.
beautiful instruments. They're standing there with their instruments,
Yeah.
like back in the day, like almost daguerreotype,
right. Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
I'm like
Generational
wow.
bands,
Yeah.
It was a part of the portrait,
Right.
In a way,
Right. Yeah,
This is
you
how
had to
you
have the
identify.
violin. You had to, yeah, exactly.
Did you
Yeah.
have
That
musicians
was a
in your
beautiful-
family too?
Yeah, funny. I look back and on both sides of the
You
family,
have-
people that played. So
I'm gonna make you
beautiful
sing.
My mom was a great singer.
Make
Oh, it
me
won't
sing.
happen tonight, but
No, it won't happen tonight,
at
but
some
one of
point
these
in time,
days.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay, good.
I'm getting back to it.
Do it.
I've decided. So.
Yeah, you'll have to, you know.
it's
We'll do a duet.
One of these. Oh,
there you
I
go.
love duets.
That'll work. Oh, duets are beautiful. Yeah.
my mom.
That's
Takes,
always the
she
fun.
takes pride in her
Harmony,
singing
that.
voice, so I should definitely say that I do have music in my family, you know, because she was a good singer when she was you know up through high school, like all county choir and this and that, and you know, I played trombone in elementary school, and I give myself credit, I played that all the way up through 12th grade. Graduated. I did it for kind of like
Trombone is one of the tough ones. So
it's tough,
kudos,
you know.
man. Yeah.
I did it.
I love trombone.
I chose it because I was a kid, and the guys up there like, so you're like, oh yeah, that's the one I want to play.
there you
You know, yeah.
It's so great.
And
Yeah.
talk about jazz. That was one of my favorite things. I was on the jazz band. I used to have like
So-
I used to do like plunger
Oh, yeah.
solos.
So big J.J. Johnson
Ooh.
fan, probably. Yeah.
I'm sure I would love them. We did a lot of old Count Basie, like, you know, jazz band was one of my favorites. We used to play at the St. Anthony's Festival. We put it at the State Fair one year.
Nice.
Nice.
One
There you
year I
go.
forgot my trombone and we went all the way up to
What's going on with that
Syracuse. I know it's I would love for it to stiffen
Tighten
up
that,
here.
baby.
There we go.
Good.
Maybe I got to scooch in. This is what I do every morning, by the way. I have a Monday through Friday show, and I'm
Okay.
constantly kind of squirming around to get in the perfect spot, and I never quite find the perfect spot.
See, the beauty is those watching Facebook get all the inside dirt of what really goes on
I
in the
know
radio
exactly.
studio.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
just hear the magic out there, you
Nothing
folks
to
that
hide.
are tuning in, just
exactly.
to the audio. But,
yeah,
you know,
good thing
those
these
on
cameras aren't on
Facebook,
at 6 in the morning.
yeah,
I look like a sloth rolling in.
Nah,
you know?
you never. You do not have any kind of sloth energy in
Well,
any way, shape, or form.
I think it's because I forced
No.
my way through. No
No.
sloth.
No sloth.
I don't
Think
see
of a
it.
different animal.
Here-
Maybe another possum. Not a possum. I don't know. Some other animal. Well, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
It is.
Oh, definitely.
Well, we got 5 minutes left in the show here. I can't believe how fast the hour's flown by, guys.
rápido.
That's the first time that I've looked
Wow.
at the time since we started. And we've been having so much fun here.
I
Sit
know.
right there.
You know, so, well, let's get...
Can we do this every week?
I know, I want to. Yeah, well, we are doing this every week
are.
through August 22nd, since you asked, Charles. CNYmusicnow.com or WXHC.com/CNYmusicnow. You can get the whole list of who we have coming up. I mean, what a way to kick it off.
Oh,
Colleen,
got
you've
that
been
right.
awesome. And if you
Thank
don't mind, could
it's
you
really great being here.
could you possibly play us one more
Please.
before
Sure.
you go? Okay, I was
Yeah,
going to say
I
because
have, well, do you want to hear like a kind of a more like a country-ish tune or a?
I want to hear whatever
Oh, boy.
song comes to your mind when I say now.
Oy. All right, I'll change
You
this
know.
up. I think I'll
Boom.
do this.
Wow.
I'll stick with the
she's got-
folky thing. Yeah.
There you go.
Just a little.
She's going to show off now. She's got
Exactly.
her
No, I
mind
gotta
to
get
through.
yeah. Well, like this.
Bilingual,
awesome.
There's a
by
harmonica
instrumental,
player
you know?
out the
You know,
door
I guess,
there,
yeah,
but-
this is, you know, we've
I got to
been-
learn to play one instrument.
You know, it's a triad here, you know?
geez.
She's going to
No,
sing,
no.
play the harmonica, and guitar.
You know?
Yeah, you know?
Let us know if you need anything.
Okay, good.
You know, I'm happy when I can walk and chew gum, so.
I know. And not fall on your face.
Yeah.
I'm happy if I can just walk without gum in my mouth and not fall on my face.
No. Fun. I'm gonna just do this one because I was thinking about it a lot because of the pandemic stuff and people kind of hightailing it out, you know, like from the city and you know if you have means, you know,
Yeah, making
going
the rap
away.
here.
And so this is a song that my friend, beloved Jolie Rickman wrote. She was a really great songwriter. She was so great, and she lived in the city. And after 9/11, she wrote this song, "Who Might Run." But I was like, wow, this is kind of really apropos for this time too. There's a sing-along. There's a chorus. You can sing along.
Ooh, okay.
My next door neighbor, his name is Stephanie. She sits on her stoop and she charms all the kids off the street. She's not the only one who makes me feel at home inside my poor toned skin. She She laid her money down on an old ocean town, and she'll be damned before she throws the towel in, before she runs for the hillside, swims across the sea. Follow the path of the sun. You know when you're one in a million, greater than none. Hey, who might run, who might run? Hey, now who might run, who might run? Well, Lord, make it rain. Come on, show us you're sharing our tears. So cry out in shame for the leaders who leave us out here. 'Cause we're not the only ones to love our daughters and sons. Most everyone around the world feels pretty much the same. And you mean more to me than some oil company. Come on, show 'em this world ain't their game. Here's the chorus now. Before you run for the hillside, swim, swim across the sea. Come on. Follow the path of the sun. When you're one in a million, greater than none. Hey, who might run, who might run? Hey, now who might run, who might run? Hey, now who might run, who might run?
Colleen Kattau, thank you so much. Where can people keep up? Whether you got a website and all that stuff?
I do. I put stuff on Facebook. Some gigs that but I'm going to be doing this part of this Laurel Canyon tribute out in Coloca.
Wow, I'd love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got winery out there. It's going to be fun. That's on June
That's going to be
27th.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so I have a website and I have a Facebook page,
Okay.
and which it's what it is.
Keep up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so amazing to have you in here for our first studio
I am
sessions,
so
and it's,
thrilled.
you did
to
a great
be here.
job. Like it's.
Thank you
Awesome.
so
I mean,
much.
I just I go back to I can't sing when people are looking at me. I'm lucky that I'm by myself with
No,
my
you have to
radio
do-
show.
I'm gonna give you a book. It's called Your Erroneous Zones. It's a riot. It was like a 70s classic that was a parody of your erotic
Right,
zones.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's really funny because
think I
it's
have
like
more
the vicious
erroneous
circle of
zones.
can't.
Yeah.
If you say you can't, then you go like this. But if you go, well, I could do that. You break out.
That's
of
so
the circle.
true, though. You automatically.
there you go.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you want to do music, so you should.
Exactly. There
Charles,
you go.
always great to see you too. We'll be back doing this
you as
next
well.
Sunday,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to being able to do this through August.
August, yeah.
We're-
August 22nd, we get to go.
Yeah.
Hey.
So stay up on that, listeners. Tune in tomorrow morning for your morning drive, and otherwise, guys, thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Hey, be
And I'll
safe.
listen in next week too.
Okay.
We got Austin McRae next week. So,
Nice.
guys,
Yeah.
definitely tune in. Facebook, see that as well.
For sure,
And Colleen, thank you so very, very much, man. Been
Pleasure.
awesome.
It's an honor. Thank you.
of course.
Cortland County's favorites, X101.